From the moment the opening cutscene starts, Masters of Anima whisks you away to a lore-rich fantasy world of Spark. A world full of corruption, love, and most importantly anima, an ancient powerful magic that can be fueled to create player-controlled armies of guardians. The added challenge of shepherding these armies through the whimsical environments of Spark brings a welcome sense of fresh air to the action-adventure genre, even if the controls can be a little fiddly. The game sees you playing as Otto, a young and very newly qualified shaper of anima. In fact, he's that fresh-faced in the world of Guardian Commanded that his qualification test acts as your tutorial. This approach to teaching you the almost RTS controls of Masters of Anima feels very organic and in line with the story, which brings an almost instant sense of intrigue. So when Otto's world is turned upside down and he sees his fiancée, also a shaper of anima, kidnapped by the evil Tsar, you feel pretty invested in wanting to help. If the theft of his beloved Anna wasn't enough, Otto also finds out that he is pretty much the last hope to saving the world of Spark from the Lord Tsar's grasp. On paper, this fantasy story sounds about as ordinary as they come, and in truth it kind of is, but due to some excellent voice acting, the narrative feels engaging, almost like a Saturday morning cartoon. As good as the voice acting is, it's not the main driving force for Masters of Anima's narrative. That is down to the anima itself. As you progress through the 10-level campaign, you'll acquire the ability to convert your collected anima into rocked form soldiers known as Guardians. When starting, you'll only have the ability to spawn the Protector Guardian, a melee-style warrior with a decent amount of health. But soon you'll find the recipes to form a total of 5 different Guardians, all of which drastically differ from one another. Early on, you'll need to learn how to best utilise your Guardians, as they will prove pivotal throughout the game, both in and out of combat, but let's start with that combat. Masters of Anima doesn't feature any regular wandering NPCs. Instead, levels play out in a more classic arcade style, where puzzle solving will usher you through to a boss room or arena. Both the mini-bosses and main bosses start out at a pretty welcoming difficulty, which allows you to become accustomed to controlling your mini-army. In the beginning, the controls feel pretty good and well mapped to controller, but unfortunately, as you gain the ability to spawn both new types of Guardians and more of the same Guardians, the cracks can start to appear. Playing on PlayStation, you can select a group of Guardians by holding down triangle. Once you start commanding multiple groups, the selection circle can be a little hit and miss. I'd often end up selecting Guardians that I didn't want to move. You can get around this by simply spamming circle, which will recall every Guardian in your army to you and then follow your every movement. The issue here isn't in the recalling, but rather the redistribution of your loyal warriors, as when selecting a target to attack, you need to press X for every Guardian. And when you're controlling over 50 Guardians in your army, not only is that a lot of button bashing, but also a lot of wasted time. All this may sound like a glaring issue with the game, but I can assure you that that's not really the case. Once I figured out my own tactics for combat and what Guardian numbers I favoured, I really enjoyed the tense bouts between the corrupt golems and my mostly unstoppable army. When you get to this point, it's a pleasure having your hands dance over the controller while seeing your effective management play out on screen, especially in the later and very challenging battles where victory definitely deserves a mini fist pump. The tense combat affairs aren't the only use for your anima Guardians, as to get to the combat arenas you'll need to solve a variety of puzzles along the way. In reality, none of the puzzles felt hugely unique or original, but the novelty of having someone you're in charge of doing the dirty work never really wore off and did make for a couple of later challenging puzzles. Now, an action-adventure game wouldn't be complete without the addition of collectibles, and of course, Masters of Anima is no different. The collectibles on offer here are actually quite useful, much like what you'd expect from classic Zelda games. Hidden items consist of extra health segments, extra anima storage, another piece of the anima scroll, or most importantly, additional XP. The reason XP plays such a big role is due to the fact that every level you progress during a stage provides a skill point for you to distribute at the end of that level. This skill point can be distributed to either Otto or one of his Guardian classes. What's really nice about this RPG skill tree is the fact that it can be reset after any stage. The nice thing about this approach was that it encouraged me to experiment with my different Guardians and Otto, and every time I did I found a different playing style. Masters of Anima's charming low poly visuals, enticing fantasy environments and multitasking Guardian management all help give the game a sense of personality. Although the controls can be a hindrance as you progress with larger number armies, once you get your head around the sometimes cumbersome feel, there is a lot of enjoyment and achievement to be taken away from the tense arena battles. To see more recent indie game reviews, then why not check out our review for Super Daryl Deluxe? Or to see more on Masters of Anima, then why not check out the first 20 minutes available now?